It serves a huge amount of purposes. You can use it as a snare. You can use it as fishing line. You can use it as a tourniquet because you've got 7 strands inside your paracord. So, and this will also hold 550 pounds of test, so test weight. It's cheap, but it can be a lifesaver. Because like I said, if you don't have the availability of a tourniquet, if you get hurt, you have a large wound, and you need to be able to try and stop bleeding, it's another thing cheesecloth is good for. But this will provide a tourniquet as well. So, you know, if you don't have bootlaces on you, or you don't have a belt, because those are other uses for, you know, your shoelaces, or a belt will also make a tourniquet. But you need to think about safety. You know, what would you do in a situation where you're out and you fall and receive a large wound? You don't have means of stopping the bleeding. You need to make something. You need to, I don't care if it's taking your clothes, wrapping around the wound, you know, if you have to take your shirt off to wrap a wound, because those are things that people don't think about that happen. Happen more often than not. But like I said, water, you can boil water, or you can use a purification system. PARACORD though. Or a lot of people use this for their bootlaces. Not a bad idea. All of my soldiers, you know, when they come to get bootlaces, they use PARACORD. You literally burn the ends to keep them from fraying, but you can always take that off, and like I said, be able to use all the inner core of that. 2 vital things. Like I said, depends on how elite you would like to make a little survival kit, or as a lot of these guys call it, their bug out bags. There's numerous things you can put in them that will, as far as safety, there are different types of lights. There's solar powered. There's the chemical light sticks. Of course, your fire. But things like this are not a bad idea because obviously you're not going to have access to batteries or somewhere to plug in. So solar is truly the way to go if you have to, if you're packing a little, like I said, a little bug out bag so that you have light. What's your next thing? What if, say for instance, you're out in the wilderness, you have no idea where you are. No idea north, south, east, west.
Look where the sunlight goes down or whatever.
Okay. But what else is something good to have on you?
A compass.
Very good. Okay. A compass. The other thing, when something like that would occur, if you can find water, your source of water, follow a river. It will lead to some type of dwelling generally that you can get help from. Same thing, fence lines even. I grew up on a farm. Trust me, corn gets pretty tall when you're little. It does, and it's scary. But compass is something else that's a good thing to have with you. As I said, waterproof matches, magnesium is another thing, if you guys are familiar with that, to be able to start a fire, to be able to get help. Signal mirrors, and that's something that is not a bad idea to learn how to actually work a signal mirror, you know, and all you'd have to do is Google search it, and I'm sure all you guys got phones. I'm sure you do. But it's a good thing to know, is how to signal for help. Because if you're in a dense forest or, you know, whatever, and you have no clue how to find your way out, you're going to need to have some means of trying to draw attention, whether it be with a fire, you know, a fire sending smoke up into the air, a signal mirror, some type of light to be able to signal for help. Like I said, there's real simple, easy routes to go with some of that stuff. Depends on how elite you want to go. I mean, there's power packs. But if you're going simple and you're just needing the basics, like I said, your water, your PARACORD, some way of providing a fire. Make sure you have some type of a cup or something to boil the water in. Another thing, hand flares. Cheap, small. You get in trouble, this will hopefully catch someone's attention. And I think you guys, I don't know if you've talked about the MYLAR blankets. Some?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another nice thing. I mean, you can pack a kit with very little stuff. You can pack it in a box this big and have pretty much everything you need for survival for up to 72 hours with no food. But then you've got your food. You've got power bars you can buy. You've got, you know, basic MRE meals, which are simple. So, like I said, there's a number of ways to look at it that you can actually put together a pretty good supply of stuff in a small pouch even. Like I said, as long as you've got means of clearing water, PARACORD, some form to make a fire, some type of signal mirror. The signal mirrors are very small. They pack easily. But these, like I said, your lovely teacher here can make copies of these for you guys. Because these are, like I said, just some different things that you would want to have with you. Another thing is a weapon of some sort. You know, a knife. Because you don't know what you could run into. Whether it be an animal, whether it be another human being that would maybe try and inflict harm upon you. Like I said, some type of small knife. That small knife can also work for many other purposes. Like I said, if you have to fend for food, if you have to make a snare, if you have to fish for food, a knife is something good to have. Doesn't need to be anything big, doesn't need to be anything fancy. Just a small pocket knife is, you know, will suffice. So, as I said, there's a number of things that I've put on here that, as I said, if you want to build a really good kit and have something for a bug out bag, you can make it as elite as you want to. But to keep it simple, all you need is those few items. Very few items. Like I say, keep you going for a minimum of 72 hours. And that's what you have to think about if you would get into a situation, whether it be the apocalypse. You know,
Nice.
I'm sure you guys hear about this all the time. This is a good time to use that. Use that for, they say within 72 hours, people will come for your stuff. You know, whether it be food, medications, I mean, that's about how long it takes people before they, what do you want to say?
Lose it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because they panic. And that's the other thing. You can't panic. You have to know what to do in an emergency situation. And that's the biggest thing, is think it through, make good choices, because you know you have to have water. You can survive without food for days, but water you have to have. And some way of signaling for help is the other biggest thing. And PARACORD to help in the instance of an accident, and a small weapon. Those are four of the biggest things that you should have in a survival kit. You know, then you can add any of these other fun things, you know, as you so choose, depending on what you're doing. If you're going on a hiking trip, if you're, you know, driving, it's good to have something in your car, because you don't know what could happen while you're, you know, you can have car trouble. You could have a car accident and go down into a steep ravine where nobody is seeing you. It's happened quite a bit here lately. They've found a different gal, or a gal not too long ago, that turned up missing, and 3 days later they found her, you know, because they followed what path she would have normally taken to work, and sure enough, she was down about a 100-foot ravine with her car upside down, and obviously in trouble. But, you know, because she couldn't get back up the ravine to get help. So, but they seen tire tracks. So it's stuff like that that you have to think about, that, because I'm sure soon you guys will be driving, or if you're not already driving, you know, put a little something in your vehicle to make sure that if you do get into trouble, you can, you know, I know everybody's got cell phones, but guess what? Cell phones don't work everywhere. Batteries run out, you know. So that's why I'm saying you have to have other means besides just thinking you can depend on technology to get you out of it, because it's not always going to be available. So, you know, make good choices. Have the essentials with you. I don't know if you guys have thought about building little kits, you know, as far as a classroom project. It's not a bad idea to just have one. Like I said, it's inexpensive to do, but it could indeed save your life. So, and that's what survival is all about. Survival isn't just your games you play on your videos. It's out there. It's out there, and we have to do it every day. So that's pretty much about all I can think of as far as necessities. But as I said, you take these with you. It's good ideas. It gives ideas of stuff that when we build kits for customers, these are some of the things that we put in them. So, as I said, water, medical type equipment, something to call for help, a knife to protect yourself, or something, you know, even small. So, but those would be a lot of the things that you want to have on hand. Water purification tablets are easy to do. It's a two-step. Most people aren't going to carry these. You know, it's not probably something. Boiling your water is probably the easiest and the most efficient way when you are in a situation. But always boil your water. You know, if you are out somewhere and you don't have clean running drinking water, always boil it if you don't have any other means to make sure, because people don't realize that that'll make you terribly sick in a quick hurry. So, and then you're going to not have too many chances to get out of whatever situation you're in.